my channel, Budget for Success. Woo! Yo, you know what time it is. Today is Smart Money Tuesday. Whoop, whoop, Smart Money Tuesday. This is my favorite time of the week because I get to bring you some nuggets, some gems, some information that I have learned in my 20 plus year career in government and finance and budgeting. And I'm here to share it so we can build wealth together. Yes, woo! Let's build some wealth. So, those of you that have been with me for a while now, you've been watching Smart Money Tuesday. Let me hear from you in the comments. Let me know, what information have you found valuable? What did you enjoy? What did you learn from? And is it helping you build wealth? Tell me in the comments. All right. Okay. Last month, we talked about investments and different options and dividends and stocks. Oh, we went in deep. This month, we're going to talk about the budget. Yes, the budget, the budget. You can never talk too much about your budget. Okay. But what I want to do is I want to correlate the budget process to what I've done for years for government. Let me share with you the steps that I used at government. I literally saved some cities from bankruptcy. Whether I helped them fine tune their budget and help them create a budget manual so they had a budget guideline to follow, whether I helped them find revenue enhancements, which enhanced the budget, or whether I just showed them how to cut costs and streamline and get better investment returns. Tons of different things that I did to help cities prosper financially. I can honestly say that every city that I worked for, when I started versus when I left, they had more money in reserves. That's just how I roll. I left them with more money than that they had when I got there. Yes, yes. So I want to share these same jewels with you guys so you can build wealth. And so after listening to Smart Money Tuesday, you can say, girl, I ended with more money than when I started first listening to Smart Money Tuesday. Let's do this. Let's do this. All right, listen, the first thing that I want you to know when I go into a city, the first thing I look for is how can we enhance the revenues? If you are not capitalizing on all the revenues that you could be bringing into the city, you're sleeping. And I say that's the same for my personal budget, my personal finances. What revenues can I identify outside of just my normal 9 to 5 or my husband's business? What other revenue sources can we tap into? This is something you have to look into. I call it Mrs. Multiple revenue sources. Cities have tons of revenue sources. They don't rely on one revenue source. Many businesses, large companies, they have various revenue sources. Even if they have most of their revenue is retail, for example. Well, they have interest income, they have return on investments. Sometimes they have assets that are generating income. They're not just relying on that retail revenue because that can swing with the economy. So I share this with you. What revenue sources can you identify that you can start bringing in, whether they're small revenue sources or large revenue sources, but what revenue sources can you capitalize on? I'm here to help you. If you want to do wealth coaching with me, we can look at things that you're passionate about and figure out how to monetize your passion, because that's what it's all about, is monetizing the things that you love to do so that you can build wealth. So you definitely want to enhance your revenues. You want to identify as many misses as you can. I don't care if when I say multiple revenue sources, I don't care if one of those misses brings $20 a month. That's $20 a month that you can add to your reserves, you can add to vacation, you can add to savings. Don't minimize the amount and say, oh, I don't want to go after that revenue source because it's not going to really bring me a lot of money. Well, if you get several of those small revenue sources that don't require a lot of effort and time, and you add that together, little becomes much when you place it in the master's hand. So that's what I'm telling you. Little becomes much, all right? And when you place it in your hand and you're diligent with it and you spend it in a wise manner, that money multiplies. Yes, yes, yes. So, government, every dollar is accounted for. There is not $1 that comes into the city that we go, oops, we missed that dollar. We go through extensive efforts to track the money when it comes into the city. We have internal controls. We got everybody on it, right? Like when that money comes in, it is accounted for. You have to do the same. Even if you get a refund check or you go and get a refund from the store or you just get some small amount of money and you just think, oh, that's just bonus money and you it away. Mm-mm. No, that's not how it works in government. And I'm saying that's not how it should work in your finances. That money should be accounted for. You should put it in savings and figure out what you want to, what sinking fund you want to allocate it to. Or if you put it in your cash because you're going to spend it, then what spending account are you going to lower now? Like I got an extra check. So I'm going to put it in my grocery budget. Okay, so the money that you were going to allocate out of your check into groceries, where are you going to put that money? Okay, you're going to put that money in savings, right? So you don't let those small amounts just whoosh through your hands. No, no, no. Every dollar is accounted for. Look at your dollars as your children, your babies. You ain't just letting them disappear and you don't know what happened to them. You had $50 and you don't know what happened. You had a tax refund and you don't know where you spent it on. Mm-mm. Every dollar must be accounted for. So I want to share with you. I don't typically do a budget with me, but guess what, guys? This month I'm going to share with you my budget with me. So here is my budget. This is the amount of revenue that I expect, my husband and I expect to receive on February 28th and March 1st. So these are the funds that were coming in. As you can see, we have multiple revenue sources. That's just something we've always been passionate about because we realize that multiple revenue sources help build wealth. And so we're committed to it. We account for every single multiple revenue source that comes in. And then we also determine how we're going to spend it. Now, many of these categories, let me come to you. Let me talk to you. Many of these categories where you see amounts allocated, I have determined those amounts before the year starts. So towards the end of the year, just similar to government agencies, they go through an annual budget process. I decide how much money do I want to spend on eating out for the year? What sounds reasonable to me? And then I divide it up by the number of checks that I'm getting, or I divide it up by how much I want to spend a month. But the idea is to really come up with a number. How much money are you willing to spend on eating out? How much money do you want to spend on gas? How much money do you want to spend on beauty and nails? And so you really want to be diligent about identifying what that number is before the year even starts. So then when the year starts, you know exactly what you're going to spend. Will you deviate from that number sometimes? Yes, for special occasions, but you factor that into the budget. So let's go back to my budget. So here you have subscriptions, car registration. Now, I don't have any money here for subscriptions because that comes out of a different check. So we have other misses that come in throughout the month, and that's how subscriptions gets paid. But we have car registration because I know on an annual basis how much I need to pay for car registration and parking. Same with earthquake and household insurance, health, reserves. I have my future savings challenges here. And if I have money to go into business ventures, which again, that comes out of a different check. And so right off the bat, as you can see, I have value-based budgeting. And with value-based budgeting, savings is first on my list. How much am I saving? And so right away, off the bat, when I get paid, I do a transfer into the savings account for this full amount. Later on, if I want to take money out of the bank to do cash stuffing, I can, but that money has already been moved into savings, okay? Some of you go, well, if you've already moved it into savings, why would you take it out to cash stuff? Because I know me. I'm years old, and I know how I operate and flow. And in the past, I would put money in savings and then transfer and take it out. And I would put money into savings and transfer and take it out. Now I have a different philosophy. If I take the money out into cash, I put it in the savings challenges. I have fun. I get to video it. And then I allocate it once I complete it into sinking funds. Those sinking funds have categories now. So now I know how much is saved for vacation. I know how much is saved for car maintenance, etc. I will then only spend money from those categories when I need it. And I'm very disciplined about that. And that's what works for me. So I encourage you to find what works for you. Some cash stuffers, once they transfer that money, they go get prop money and they cash stuff and have fun with their prop money. And that works for them. For me, taking the cash out and allocating it through my cash stuffing is just works for me. Now, when the funds go back to the bank with the proper allocations, I typically have that money then invested with my financial advisor. And then we start making some big money with my financial advisor because he does a great job at investing our funds. But the money that's with my financial advisor, it all has a purpose. It all has a name on it and a label on it, and I know what it's for. We go here to my wallet. This is important because this is the cash. This is, for me, spending cash in these categories has helped me really limit just swiping that card. Just swipe, 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 swipe. I have this cash on hand and it's going to last me, and I don't swipe. Now, some of these categories are higher than normal because we're going to Northern California for my son. He wants to check out a few schools. So we got some extra money there. Groceries, y'all. Groceries are just high. Okay. I got two grown, good eating men in my household. And everybody eats something different. So groceries are just expensive. And then this is my miscellaneous money. If I don't spend all of this, it does go into my savings challenges. And then I have money for my hair. And I don't spend this amount every month for hair, but this is a special month. All right. Now, this is why budgeting is easy for me as well, because I account for what am I doing with the funds. This amount is being transferred into the savings account. This amount is being taken out of the bank for cash. This amount is staying in the bank, which is $490, which is small compared to all the other amounts. So I don't leave a lot of money in the bank. So what does that mean? I won't be swiping that debit card. And so I do have money in the bank for Amazon, for eating out, which is higher than normal because we're going to Northern California. And then for miscellaneous, I don't know, anything could come up. And so that is the money that stays in the bank. Now, this is money that now has to be used to pay bills. Some people move money into a separate account so that their bill account won't get overdrawn because you put the money in and then you pay the bills, right? So your account should never get overdrawn because you're only paying the bills that you've designated. So if I put 2140.33 and that's all I pay, then it would never get overdrawn. And so these are the expenses that just get paid from my bank account. Now, I was talking to a friend recently who said she pays all of these things with a credit card as well. And then she pays the credit card off each month for the points. I love that idea. You get those points, you can use it for whatever you need. Sometimes they let you cash the points in. I'm not there because, like I said, you have to know you. You have to know you. Let me come to you. You have to know you. So if you are going to use your credit card to pay bills, but you find each month you spent more than what you thought you did with your credit card, You got to stop using that process. It doesn't work for you. We're trying to build wealth. Now, if you use the credit card and you're extremely diligent and you pay that credit card off every month and you're getting points and you're not paying interest, great. But if you find that even though you pay it off each month, less and less amount of money goes to savings because it's got to be used to pay the credit card off because you've gone over budget, that's not a good system for you. What works is if you use the credit card for the purchases that you intended to use it for and nothing more, and you pay it off, and the money that you intended to go into savings, you save it right away. That's what I do. This is before the money gets here. I decided I needed that amount of money to go into savings. When the money hit, I promise you that transfer was done the next day. Yes, yes, yes. And then at the end, here's all the bills that I pay. I typically I pay them from my checking account. I do not use a credit card. I might consider it in the future because I have gotten much better with making sure I only spend what I intend, so that I could bank those points. But I'm not there yet. I really want to feel comfortable with that process. And that's what I share with you is feel comfortable with the process. Now, another step that I do at month end that many government agencies and companies do is they take a look back after the month is over and say, how did we do? Did the revenues come in the way we planned? Did we spend the money the way we intended? Did we go over? Did we go short? Do we need to make modifications for the next month? That's the review process. You have to do that. That is so important. Don't minimize that. You think, well, I already said this is what the money is going to be spent for, and I put it in all these different buckets and I followed it. Okay, great. But have you looked at how much cash is sitting in your cash envelopes? Where are you now? How much money do you have saved in all your savings challenges? How much cash is sitting in your bank account? How much money are in your investment account? How much money is in your retirement? Do you log in to your retirement account on your job or your personal 401k and look at how much money you have? If you don't, you're missing out on managing your funds and ensuring that you're getting the best return because you're trusting somebody else, some mythical God that's going to oversee your savings. And that's not for the mythical God to look over your savings. It's for you to look over your savings. So you definitely want to do a monthly review, okay? And look at how much assets do you have? And I actually do a review annually for my net worth, which is another practice government agencies do because they put together audited financial statements. And so the audited financial statement says this is how much revenue you made throughout the year, how much your expenses are, and then here's your balance sheet, which kind of gives you the net worth figure. And so I do that analysis for my husband and I. So we look at how much cash we have, how much debt we have, and and then how much net worth we have. So I come back for some more Smart Money Tuesday, and I'll show you that process that we go through annually. I'm also going to talk to you about some policies that cities use that I think are excellent to implement in your personal finances, especially if you would like to retire early, because that's what I did. Well, some could say it wasn't early, but for me, it was early because I got a hold of my finances and I figured out what was needed. And now I get to really enjoy life and have fun and spend time with my grandson. Yes, yes, yes. And so I want you to be able to do the same. So I'm going to share some great policies with you that make you go, hmm. So come back. Be sure to join me for the next Smart Money Tuesday. And if you like this video and you want more videos and you want to be notified, hit the notification bell and subscribe to Budget for Success. Bye for now. Love you guys.